Today, Baba reminds us of our journey of 84 births, and in that, Baba points out one interesting truth about Satyug. And Baba says that in the two yugas, Satyug and Treta Yuga, or in heaven, we are called deities. And usually people think that deities serve them. Okay, so there are two things. People think that deities are worshipped and deities serve them. So deities are the one who bring benefit to them, who do spiritual service, and then second is you worship the deities. But Baba tells us that when we are really deities, we are not worshipped because there is no worshipper there. Yes, so in Hindi we use this word pujya. Pujya means worship worthy. And you're worship worthy, but when you're worship worthy, there is no desire or system for worship. And then we are, so deity is devata, giver. So giver means the one who serves. And Baba says, in this world we consider the sun and the moon and the stars to also be deities because they serve us. And although they are just lights on the stage, Baba has given this knowledge that this land, this world or this corporeal world is a big stage. And just like a stage has lights, so these sun and moon and stars are the lights of the stage. But Baba says today you worship them, in the world there is this system of worshipping the sun, moon and stars also because they are considered to be givers, servers. But Baba says when you are a deity, so you are called a deity because you serve, but then when you are a deity, you don't serve. And I was just thinking about this story of our 84 births. And Baba today tells us that it is the rain of knowledge that cools down the fire of vices. And what are vices? So you see, the basic reason for the root of vices is body consciousness. And body consciousness can be defined in many ways. But what I'm thinking of today is that body consciousness makes you live with this idea that the body and the physical world is the source of your inner state. So your inner innate happiness, your inner peace, joy, your state of feeling loved or not loved, or powerful or not powerful, depends on the state of the body and the external circumstances. So body consciousness is the outside in approach. So, but the thought process or how the intellect works in the body conscious world is that you need to source everything from outside. and your senses, your eyes, nose, ears, skin, they are the source of your innate, inner happiness or sukh. And then everything that you have and your attainments and relationships in the physical world, they are the source of love and joy and power. So this is the basic principle of body consciousness. And so Baba today says that, and because you think that the everything is a source of joy in the external world, so you start living living your life with the attitude of a consumer, and you start seeing everything as an object of your of your inner happiness. So when you see everything as an object, how do you treat it? You try to exploit it. So you don't have respect for that which is an object of your inner gratification. So this is how we live in the world, with a consumerist mindset, because we are body conscious. And so what is lust? When you see other people's bodies and your bodies as an object of pleasure, so that is lust. And then you see you see other people as an object of your emotional gratification, that is attachment. So whatever they do, however they behave, so that is an object of your internal gratification. Or you see things as object of your inner happiness, inner state of happiness. Or you start seeing attainments and position and power and name and fame as something that makes you worthy, makes you feel worthy from inside. So this is how you get trapped in vices. And anger is just a reaction when you don't when the objects of your gratification are not behaving according to how you would like them to behave, then that reaction is anger. So we are basically living like this, and this starts from the copper age. When you forget that you are a soul, then whatever you see becomes very real, and then you start believing that I'm the body and I am what I have and what I do. So this is how it all begins. And then Baba says that, when everybody starts exploiting everybody, and everything and everyone is exploited, then this world, you look at this world, it has become like a place where there's a fire breakout. And this whole world is burning in the fire of this lust, especially. And because you see that other things, I think that why lust is the biggest one is because sensual pleasure is needed constantly. So emotional gratification, it lasts a little longer. Or even the happiness that comes from things, it lasts a little longer. So but sensual pleasure is very temporary. So that is why there is constant need for sensual pleasure. And then you start exploiting your senses and other people's bodies for that pleasure. So that makes this whole world burn in the fire of lust. And Baba says that when this whole world is burning in the fire of lust, and you see, we don't limit this exploitation or this overconsumption to just people and things, but all the elements of nature. You see, if you look at the core of why the whole environment is suffering, or why there is so much of pollution, or so much of degradation of the environment, or the elements of nature are becoming more and more impure and polluted, the one reason is over exploitation. So everybody is over exploiting the five elements because, this body conscious state is like, the soul is with a big hole of emptiness, and then you're trying to fill that emptiness with everything outside, and then nothing is enough. So nothing is enough, and that emptiness is growing, and you're just putting one thing after the other to fill that emptiness. And then Baba says that when the whole world is burning in this fire of vices, then I come. And how do I cool this whole world which is burning? Because in the new world, everything is cool. So, there is no fire of lust, anger, ego, attachment, greed. And you see, now you can, that word fire is very interesting today, because you can feel that fire. You can feel that the whole world is burning in this fire of ego and lust and anger and attachment. And this when the we just, how are we living in the midst of this fire? We are just praying that this fire shouldn't come and burn. It shouldn't. So sometimes, the fire has big outbursts, and you see wars, and you see, calamities, and you see all these things, and then you're just praying that that outburst doesn't happen to you. And we are just living in the midst of the fire, and the temperature is rising every day. And Baba says, I come and make everything cool. And how do I do that? So Baba says, just like rain, cools everything, I rain the rain of knowledge. And when I came into Gyan, the first thing I understood was that I am a soul, and I am here not to take everything, but to express whatever is within. So, the first lesson that I understood when I came into Gyan was, I am a soul, and it is not outside in, it is inside out. So, I'm not here, I have not come to the planet, to the corporeal world to, have everything, acquire everything, achieve everything, dominate everything, own everything. But I have come here to express whatever is there in me in action. And Baba tells us that, why is the deity state so cool? So, deities are worship worthy, they are very, they are pure, they are ideal. And what makes them like that? So they are operating inside out. So they are not trying to exploit bodies or relationships or things to feel full inside. So they are full, so they are just expressing that fullness in action, and that is the deity state. And Baba tells us this whole story. Baba gives us the gyan, the knowledge that, so how does Baba rain the knowledge? So Baba says that you are a soul, and you are doing everything through the body. And you are the one thinking, you are the one making decisions, you are the one performing actions. And then Baba says that you, the soul, were supposed to be like this, express your virtues, your knowledge, and your powers in action. And you did that for 2500 years. So for 2500 years, how did the world operate? It was inside out. And this can be summarized in a very simple way. The deities, so today, when anybody is in a context or with a person, the first question that we ask ourselves is, what am I going to gain from this? What am I going to gain from this person, or what am I going to gain from this thing, or what am I going to gain from this situation? But when we are deities, we don't think like that. We always think about what can I, so I am full, so how can I express it? So you are only expressing your state of peace or love or joy, or you could also say that you're not even thinking, it's very organic because you're full. And the law of energy is energy flows from a higher vibration to a lower one. So everybody is receiving from you, or in fact they are not even receiving because everybody is full. So that is why there is akarma, so everybody is radiating. And that world is a very beautiful place, a very loving, joyful, peaceful place. And then from the copper age, because we lose our spiritual power, because all this fullness, Baba has told us that in the Murli every day, Baba is telling us whatever you fill yourself with will last for 21 births. So, has Baba ever told us that it will last longer? No. So, I always compare this to the Cinderella story. So, just like Cinderella was told that, until 12 in the night, your whole adornment will be there and then it will all start collapsing. So, Baba also tells us that whatever aprons I fill you with, that will last for 21 births. And then what happens after that? We become empty. We start losing power. And then when we start losing power, then body consciousness sets in and we start depending on people, places, things for whatever is empty inside. So we, instead of radiating, we start expecting and sucking. So we start, we want to take in happiness, peace, love from people, places, and things because we are getting empty. And when we start doing that, then this fire keeps increasing because the emptiness is not quenched like that. So because so just like my state, everything around me is getting emptier and emptier. And by making that the source of inner fulfillment, I'm not able to fulfill myself. And you see, in economics, there is a very interesting thing that's taught. And it's a law, and that law is the law of diminishing marginal returns. So, in economics, we are taught that there is the law of diminishing marginal returns, which means that you need increasing quantities of the same thing to give you the same satisfaction. So, for example, you eat the first apple, that's the classical example given. So, you eat your first apple and it gives you some sense of utility or satisfaction. And then the second apple will give you less satisfaction. And then the third apple will give you even less satisfaction. So, and you see, this whole world, everything, every element of nature, every soul, it's depleted. And the law of diminishing marginal returns applies to this whole world, this impure world. And then what happens is you are trying to source your love and joy and peace and sense of worth from physical things around you or physical attainments or the physical world. But what happens is you source it, you feel happy, but the next time you go to the same thing, you need increasing quantity of it to feel that same level of happiness or peace. For example, you go to the mall, you spend money, you feel very happy. But next time you go to the mall, you spend the same amount of money or the same amount of time, you don't get the same satisfaction. You need to, you keep spending more, or it is very evident in the case of drugs and smoking and other things that people do. So, or alcohol, so it is giving you satisfaction. So when you are engaging in any kind of sensual pleasure, for the first time, you feel like, oh, it made me have the taste of heaven. But then next time you engage in the same thing, you need an increasing quantity of it for the same satisfaction. And then what happens is your internal emptiness is growing, it's not being quenched. And even if you eat up the whole world, that emptiness is not getting filled. So this gives rise to the fire, the fire of lust, anger, ego, attachment, greed, in which the whole world is burning. And then Baba says that I come and I give you the knowledge. And what is the knowledge? I tell you, I tell you the story of the beginning, middle, and end. And I tell you what it was like in the beginning, how, you were here to express and not expect. And then how you took 21 births and when you started getting empty. And Baba tells us that the time we spent in heaven was the fortune, was the gift of the fortune that we created in the last confluence age. And Baba says you created that fortune and then you reaped the benefit of that fortune. And then after that, what we call pralabdh in Hindi. So pralabdh, after that phase where you have reaped the benefit of the fortune, you start falling. And then, this fire keeps increasing. And how it all happens, Baba describes to us. And then Baba tells us, how to again go back, because Baba gives us the knowledge of this cyclic, ever repeating drama. And Baba says, after Kali Yuga, so once you have had this whole journey of 84 births, now it is time to go back to your new world. And Baba says, for that, I teach you the method also. And what is the method? The method is, again become the one who gives, the one who serves. Okay? Just like me, by taking from me and performing actions as a giver. So Baba says, when you are deities, you don't give, because nobody is a taker there, nobody is empty there. But here, at this time, you become real deities. So when you worship the deities, the attitude with which you worship them or how you remember them is a memoir of this time in Sangam Yuga. And Baba says, how do we live our life now? We understand that everything is tamo pradhan, everything is in its lowest state of existence, at its lowest frequency or vibration. So no soul, no element of nature, it can fill me, the soul, with what I need or want. So what I have to do is, I have to take everything from Baba. I have to be a karm yogi. Yes, I have to be a yogi and a karm yogi. So I have to be in remembrance of my father. I have to, and Baba is the one who fills us with all treasures. Every virtue, every power, every jewel of knowledge. And Baba says, take the jewels of knowledge from my Murli. I speak the jewels of knowledge. Churn on them and make them your own, and then you become knowledgeful. And then in my remembrance, take love, take peace, purify yourself in my remembrance. Take powers in my remembrance. And Baba says, this is my direction for you. And when you do this, and then you live in this world as a giver, because energy will flow from high to low. So now that everybody is in a low vibration, so everybody will feel like they are receiving from you. The 5 elements also will be purified around you. I'll tell you one thing, So there was this one sister, and she used to come to the center, and she had this practice that when she would buy flowers for her home, she would also buy, she would buy an equal quantity of flowers for the center also. And then she would divide them and then she would bring one part to the center and another she would take home. And then she, after that, those flowers are, in the center, she would keep looking at those flowers after 3-4 days every day. And those flowers will last for a week or something. And then one day I asked her, why do you keep looking at these flowers so intently every day? What is the thing? Every time you bring flowers, you keep looking at them after 3-4 days. So she said, Didi, I bring the same flowers home and I bring the same flowers to the center. It's the same place. I divide them and then I bring. And then those flowers at home, they wilt after 3-4 days. And then here, those same flowers, they last longer. And we are in the same area, the same weather, same temperature, everything. So how is that possible that the flowers last, 2 times? So you see, we don't realize that the power of vibrations is so huge. So because, in the Lokik world, even if, that sister is also a yogi, she's a Brahmin, but she's the only Brahmin in the family. And the other members are not Brahmins. They are, every time they are releasing thoughts and vibrations of lust, anger, ego, attachment, greed. And then in the center, because everybody is practicing, so it's a different environment. And Baba says that, you see, just being, just being in remembrance of Baba in the morning, filling yourself, and then while you do everything, just being in Baba's remembrance and doing everything knowledgefully, lovefully, peacefully, powerfully, that is what makes you a deity. Because when you are knowledgeful, peaceful, loveful, powerful, then everyone and everything around you starts receiving that. Yes, so if you are knowledgeful, what will you speak? You will speak knowledge. So just like, somebody who has the knowledge of politics, once they open their mouth, they will only speak about politics. So we have the knowledge given by Baba. So what will we speak about? We will speak about that only. So if you're knowledgeful, you don't have to, you don't even have to consciously think. Your ideas are knowledgeful. Whenever you open your mouth, you will speak knowledge. Just like, Baba says, you are Gyan Ganga. You are the river of knowledge. Why? Because you're full. So, and in the scriptures, it is shown that the one who brought Ganga, Bhagirath, so the one who brought Ganga from the heaven, so it is shown that Ganga was brought from the heaven. So the one who brought Ganga from the heaven, so Baba says that in heaven, it is shown that Shankarji has this, Ganga filled here, and then it flows from his head. So Baba says that, when you have knowledge filled here, then it will flow from your mouth, your vibrations, everything. And Baba tells us that, in all your actions, virtues and powers will flow. And then Baba tells us you do conscious seva also. Apart from staying in remembrance and being who you are while being in action, being a karma yogi, also do conscious seva. Make a program. What thought you want to have from this time to this time, or what is the attitude you want to have, or what is the practice you want to have, what is the blessing you want to give to everybody, or how do you want to engage your hands and body in serving somebody, creating something, making something, so that everybody benefits from it. And Baba says, when you do all these things, then you again go back to that world of happiness, because through all these directions that I give you, you are creating that world of happiness. You're creating that world of purity and peace. So Baba tells us the story of these 84 births, and Baba gives us Baba reminds us of the truth of identical repetition of the drama. And then Baba tells us how to go back to the new world, how to create the new world. So Baba says, through this rain of knowledge, I cool everything. So I take you to the world where everything is cool, everything is without this fire of vices, and especially the fire of lust. And you see, about lust, Baba reminds us that, if for 2 yugas in heaven, you didn't have lust, there was no need for sensual pleasure, and the body also had the capacity to produce children without lust, without any engagement in lust. And when Baba reminds us that we lived like this, we didn't depend on bodies or sensual pleasure or people or places or things, and it was all inside out. It was the soul doing everything with the power of purity and the power of virtues and spiritual powers. Then we start creating that world where again this will be the new world order. And Baba says, this is why I am the one who, extinguishes the fire of vices and makes everything cool. And Baba also tells us that not just the souls, but also the elements of nature become cool. And just see that now the elements of nature are causing so much trouble because they are all, agitated. But when they are cool, they never lose their boundary. The elements of nature serve, the elements of nature don't cause destruction. So, this is what Baba is explaining today in the Murli. And one more point Baba is underlining today, that Baba is very egoless. So, Baba is sung as the egoless one. So, Baba says, everybody says, I'm incorporeal and egoless. And you see, Baba is the highest on high, and how Baba serves us with so much of humility. Baba even calls himself the spiritual servant. So, Baba says, children, you are my children, you are like me. So, just like in my remembrance, you're becoming virtuous, you're becoming powerful, you're becoming full of knowledge. In my remembrance, you also become egoless. So, have the humility like me. So, don't stay in this intoxication that I am high and mighty and I won't do this and I won't stoop and bend and this and that, and be humble. And Baba says, just like I am serving everybody, you also serve. And if you want to have some intoxication, have the intoxication of this knowledge, not of physical attainments, because Baba says they are perishable and that intoxication is also perishable. Okay? Om Shanti.